Okay, I really wanted to start off this video with a question. What do you do when you really need a home studio but you really don't have the budget to start it from scratch? Most people would just set this up in the corner of their room, stack some books, put a lamp, call it a day. And look, that's fine, that works. But what if? Hear me out. What if the answer was already sitting inside your house, completely empty, just waiting? Because that's exactly what happened to me and what I ended up building inside a 100 square feet room. Using a kitchen countertop as my desk, powered by an M4 Mac Mini driving 3 monitors, is one of the things that I'm most proud of this year. And I wanted to walk you through every decision I made, every product I chose, every weird problem I had to solve, and what I'm exactly planning to do next. So this is the full Optm Studio tour for 2026. Let me give you the context here first because the backstory really matters. This room you're seeing right now used to be my old kitchen, a 100 square feet room with old tiles, a huge L-shaped marble countertop going around two sides of the room. And when my family decided to build a bigger kitchen, this room just became empty. I remember standing across that hallway and sitting there thinking, this is it. This should be my new studio. Now the first thing you need to understand about converting an old kitchen into a studio is that kitchen usually don't have doors. So naturally this room didn't have a door. So step one before anything else was to get a door installed. I know it sounds like a very basic thing to do, but it completely transforms the room. It adds privacy, better acoustics, the ability to close off the world and just work without any distractions. The door was the most important decision I made first. And then there was this countertop here. Most people setting up a desk setup for a triple monitor situation are going online, looking at big motorized standing desks, dropping like $300 to $500 minimum. I completely understand that. But I already had a massive L-shaped marble countertop just sitting there, built onto the walls, going absolutely nowhere. And instead of tearing it out, I thought, why don't I just use it? And surprise, surprise, it saved me an enormous amount of money. And it can support all 3 monitors without any issues. And plus point, it gave me more than enough space to work with anything that I want. And here's the thing, it was in black and I had very specific vision for this room. White, clean and minimal. I've been going down the Pinterest rabbit hole looking at these immaculate white studio setups and I knew that this was the direction I wanted. The problem was I had black marble countertop and very ugly kitchen tiles, which to me at least was a very big problem. So here's what I did. I wrapped the entire countertop surface in white vinyl wrap stickers. Same principle as the people who wrap their cars or bike, but just in a smaller scale. And budget was a constraint to me as well. And the end result, it completely transformed the look of this room. What was very dark and heavy now feels bright and intentional. Now for the walls here, I went with white acoustic foam panels. Now I'll be honest, I didn't buy this purely because of acoustics. I bought them because they look very clean. They cover up these ugly wall tiles here and plus point, it slightly helped with removing echo in the room. As you can see, I haven't covered all the walls here because of course of budget constraints. These panels are not cheap in any way, but I plan to cover all these walls by the end of next month. Every panel I put up here make it feel like a proper studio instead of a repurposed kitchen. And there's one more touch that I'm a bit embarrassed to be proud of. I stuck the white vinyl strips around the bezels of my monitors. It sounds ridiculous, but it looks incredible. It matches with the whole white minimal vibe I'm looking for. The desk mat is also in white color, but you can reverse it to get a grey color. And the grey color actually creates a contrast between the white countertop. That's the reason why I'm using grey color instead of the white color. And the whole design of the studio starts to feel like consistent. Now the studio is not complete by any means. There are so many things that I'm planning to do in this room, but even at this stage, it's starting to look like a proper studio. And that inspires me a lot and it means a lot to me. Now let's talk about the actual machine that runs all these things, because this was a really big decision for me. So I wanted 3 things basically. As you know, I work from home, so I wanted something with really good power, and I wanted something that can power 3 displays at the same time, and I also wanted it to be super budget friendly. Enter the M4 Mac Mini. If you have been watching this channel for so far, you know that I love the Apple ecosystem, and believe it or not, the M4 Mac Mini is the greatest tech deals of all time. It starts at a price range that absolutely makes no sense coming from a brand like Apple, with the additions like M4 chip and 16 GB of RAM as base, incredibly fast SSDs, and the ability to drive 3 monitors at the same time is game changer. By now you must have understood why I took the M4 Mac Mini instead of the MacBook Pro or the previous M4 MacBook Air I used to use. I really needed the triple monitor setup, and Mac Mini is the cheapest option from Mac that can actually deliver it. Sure, I could have gone with the iMac or the MacBook Pro, but The M4 Mac Mini actually allows me to pick my own displays, my own accessories and everything like that. And right now I'm running 3 basic monitors from BenQ. These are 100Hz monitors that are 1080p. They're not the flashiest monitors out there, but it gets the job done and it's super budget friendly. Now here's the thing I get most comments about in my videos. It's that Mac Mini only has one HDMI port. So how do you connect the rest of the 2 HDMI ports? USB hubs. Specifically, I'm running 2 Portronics USB hub that handles the additional display outputs. The Mac Mini connects all 3 screens through a combination of native HDMI and these hubs. Is it the most elegant solution? Not exactly. But does it work perfectly every single day? Absolutely yes. If you're trying to do the same things, I'll link the exact product that I'm using in this video. And here's something I think is kind of hilarious but also perfectly functional. The Mac Mini sits under the countertop, specifically in the exact spot where a gas stove would go in a kitchen. There are little built-in cutouts and the depth is perfect. It's tucked away completely out of sight. It also includes an extension board and a power plug, consisting the switches for my exhaust fan and my AC. It's actually the command center for the entire setup hidden underneath out of sight. The result, the top word which is usually visible is completely cable free. I also use wireless mouse and wireless keyboards. Everything looks very clean and very minimal. Okay, this is the part of the setup that is highly underrated in every single setup videos. The chair. That's right. I'm using a chair from a brand called Astrid, and I've been using this specific chair for almost 2 years now, which genuinely means that I have the right to tell how good this chair is. Apart from the armrest, which is kind of stiff, but I solved that problem with these cushions here. For the price, at least, you really can't go wrong with this chair. It has adjustable seat height, adjustable armrest, adjustable headrest, and what more could you ask for? One more thing, after using this chair for almost 2 years now, the chair has developed a little bit of odor, but you can easily remove that if you purchase a chair cover. Okay, here's something that most people don't include in their studio tours, and I think that's a mistake, because even the most powerful computer in the world is useless if your room is 40 degrees Celsius and you feel like you're slowly melting. With the current temperature in India and neighboring countries, this is an absolute necessity, and this room right here gets hot. Genuinely hot. It's a 100 square feet enclosed space, and the concrete roof up here absorbs heat throughout the day and radiates it downwards. And without any airflow in this room, it's really brutal by the midday. So 3 months ago, I installed an AC. This is the Samsung Bespoke AI AC. This is a 1.5 pen 3-star AC. And before you say anything, Samsung is definitely not paying a small creator like me to promote their product. This is something that I bought with my own money and what I'm using right now. And here's my philosophy about AC temperature that most of you will disagree with me. I keep it at 30 degrees Celsius. And when I'm shooting videos like this, I bring it down to 28 degrees Celsius. I know, 30 degrees sounds like it's barely doing anything, but think about it this way. Even if the outdoor temperature is like 30 degrees Celsius, because of the concrete walls we usually have in our homes, it typically feels like 35 to 37 degrees Celsius inside the room, because surprise, surprise, concretes absorb heat and radiates it downward. If the room don't have any circulation, it essentially feels like a large oven. So running the AC at 30 degrees Celsius is a massive improvement. Also, I don't want cold air blasting at me all the time, and the biggest thing, I don't want huge electricity bills. And to be honest, I feel perfectly fine even in 30 degrees Celsius, and if the AC had an option to go beyond that, I would still turn it on. At 30 degrees Celsius, this AC uses about 100 to 400 watts of power, and the result speaks for themselves. I have currently 2 ACs at my home, one in this exact office and one in my brother's room, and both of them run at similar temperatures, and my total consumption for the entire house, including everything like lights, bulbs, everything like that, comes to around 350 units per 2 months. That is genuinely really low for a home with 2 ACs. Both of these ACs are running around 8 to 10 hours a day. Now there's an exhaust fan in this room as well, which I know it looks a bit odd for a room with an AC, and people has asked me about it. And the answer to that, the exhaust fan is really not for cooling, it's just for air circulation. Small enclosed rooms like this get stuffy really fast, and we also have to consider the CO2 buildup. After a few hours of working here without any ventilation, you really start to feel it, and this exhaust fan prevents that. And before you go to the comment section and input your rage comments, I don't run the AC and the exhaust fan at the same time. One more thing, cool air from AC are naturally denser, so it sinks to the bottom of the room. And when the AC is turned off, the exhaust fan only pulls out the hot air. It also pulls out the hot air that gets trapped from the concrete ceiling. And if you're planning to set an exhaust fan, buy an exhaust fan with a closed flap design. This one also has a closed flap design. That basically means that when the exhaust fan is off, the room is fairly sealed. And on cooler nights, I don't even bother with the AC. The combination of an exhaust fan and this table fan here is completely comfortable. And then there's these blinds, because the sun rises directly in front of this room. Morning sun rays straight into your face. So I install light blocking blinds in white color in this room. This completely blocks out the sun as well as keep the room cool. The room breathes well, it's comfortable. Quick pause here. If you're finding this video really helpful and you like videos like this, consider subscribing. because it's completely free and it helps me make more videos like this. Now let's talk about the recording side of this setup. The mic I'm currently using is the Fifine A6T. I got it specifically in white color to match the aesthetic of the room, but I couldn't get the stand on black color and it bothers me more than it should. Now here's the honest truth about this mic. It has a hissing sound while sound recording. It's subtle, but it's there. However, the important thing is that I found a workaround and it's completely free. Enter Adobe's Podcast Enhance tool. It processes all this audio from this mic and run it through its program, cleans up the voice and remove the background noise. This audio you're hearing right now is enhanced with Adobe Podcast. Yeah, it's like a bit of extra step, but I mainly use this mic as a speech input in dictation or Mac Whisper. If you're not using these features like dictation or Mac Whisper, you're really missing out on a lot. For lighting, I have two different lights here, an RGB stick light here and a mini LED light here. That helps with ensuring that there is proper lighting here, and I also have two different light stands here. I'll leave the link of these products in the description below. On the top of this center monitor here, there is a webcam there, and I mainly use it for meetings during my day job. It's nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. Now let me show you what's actually under the desk or the countertop. On both sides, I have two organizer boxes. These are within arm's reach at all the time, so I don't need to get up, I don't need to go for setting. Everything I need is right there. All my charging related needs are on the top side of my right organizer. That basically means it holds two USB ports, one lightning port, adapter to charge my battery on my lights, as well as my camera. It also has a magnetic charging plug for my Apple Watch. Every single gadget on this room charges on that top section of that box. This just means I don't have loose cables lying around anywhere on my desk. And on the bottom part, it handles basically my UPS, other digital gadgets I own, and basic stuff like that. And the box on the left side is a place where I put office supplies like pen, pencil, eraser, scale, and stuff like that. So all my tech is on the right side and all my office supplies on the left side. There's also this small table here covered in a marble like mica. This is where I have attached this camera, these lights, this mic, and everything that is related to shooting this video. And over the entry point, there is a perfume diffuser there, because as I told you, this room gets stuffy really fast because of the enclosed nature, and that diffuser there get rid of the odor smell. It doesn't particularly smells really nice, but it gets the job done. There's also a locker box on the bottom there, which holds all my valuable documents and stuff like that. Nothing fancy. Now, this is in no means a finished product. This is a work in progress, and that's okay. I know that this is not a perfectly done and well polished setup. I'm sure you have seen many great setup videos that are actually really good looking. But what I'm trying to show here is that even someone like me can achieve this with the type of budget that I have. Genuinely speaking, all the work done here is done by myself. Even the painting, the paneling, the stickering, everything is done by me. And I know that most of you don't have an old kitchen laying around to make it into an office, and I agree with you. Most of us don't have a spare room. But what I'm really trying to convey is that with a little bit of patience and dedication, even this kind of setup is possible for every single one of you watching. Lastly, every single item that I have mentioned in this video will be linked down in the description. If you found any part of this video helpful, drop a comment down below. Tell me what kind of setup that you are currently running right now, and what's your biggest challenge upgrading your desk space. By the way, I'll read through all the comments from you guys. This is the 2026 Optium Studio. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. By the way, if you want to check out my M4 Mac Mini review, you can watch this video here. And if you want to check out my top 10 Mac apps, you can watch this video.